Welcome to the Sisterhood of the Traveling Parents, where family travel is possible, memorable, and sometimes messy.
For best friends, seasoned travelers, and moms who took our kids around the world before they could walk. Now they're toddlers, and the adventure continues.
From destination ideas to survival tips, we're bringing you along as our kids and our journeys grow.
Buckle up, we're taking off.
Hey, mamas, welcome back to the Sisterhood. Today, we're discussing the importance of getaways as parents without kids and how to keep romance alive while vacationing with them. You ready? Let's dive in.
All right, let's get to it. So, let's talk a little bit about getaways without kids. So, I am a big proponent of dating your spouse, even if it's just like a small vacation or a staycation. I normally try to leave my son with my parents at least once a year. And normally we get away for about a week, although my parents have been asking for less and less time, which is fair. It's fair. My parents are getting older. And I do understand, hey, listen, this isn't the case for everybody, right? Not everyone gets the luxury of having really good care. So that also plays a huge role. But if you do, especially parents or grandparents, I think it would be super beneficial to leave them with them. Also, no better person to take care of your child than, your own parents. So, really great opportunity to feel like you have peace of mind and really enjoy yourself while being away. I don't know if you
I
feel the
agree
same
with
though.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I think it's so important to try to do your best. If you can't do a week long or, even a weekend, just like a night out getaway every once in a while is so important to kind of cherish that bond and keep it growing strong and remember who you were as a couple before kids. Is there any specific getaways you did recently that you want to talk about?
Yeah. So, about a year ago, my husband and I went to Mexico and it was so fun. We got a chance to do things that, we weren't able to do, or we wouldn't be able to do, I should say, with our kid. We were able to, obviously have really late night dinners and have drinks and hang out with friends. Just to give you guys a little bit of perspective, it was a work trip for my husband. He gets to do one of those once a year pretty much. And so we took full
Lucky.
advantage and yeah, it was lovely. It was so fun. But, of course, if we would have had our son Christian with us, you wouldn't be able to do, late night dinners and have drinks, come 7 o'clock. So it was just nice not having to worry about like a night routine to follow and being able to wake up later and whatnot. So yeah, what about you?
Absolutely. We also did one recently, which until then we had only done pretty much a night or two here and there for like anniversaries or special occasions. So we went to Boston for a couple nights for Patriots playoff game and it was so much fun. We had a blast. We didn't want to spend all this money going to the game. It was snowing and cold and we wanted to go out and kind of take advantage and we had a blast together. It was really nice to do a little bit of an extra getaway and leave the kids home. We're blessed too to have, grandparents here that will help out every now and then with, trips like that. So we had a good time though. It was a lot of fun and we missed the girls. But, I thought it was a perfect amount. Like 2 to 3 days for us is great. We've never done a week long. I don't know if we'd ever be able to convince grandma for that. It's a lot with two though,
It
as
is
you
a lot.
imagine.
Yeah, and I mean, to your point, right? You have 2. I only have 1. So, I think it's a lot different. To ask my parents to just watch 1 is okay, but I have a nephew and a niece, and sometimes my parents will take on the responsibility of watching all the kids, and I definitely see a huge difference in their demeanor and their attitudes, after they give them back, if they only took care of Christian versus having the 3 of them, right? So, that's also something to take into consideration, right? I do think a sweet spot is definitely, to your point, 2 to 3 days, just because I don't know about you, but, like, I get homesick after being away for too long, and also, I miss my child so much come the 4th or the 5th day of being away. Like I said, last year, we did a week-long vacation, and I was just counting down the days to be back, which you don't wanna do that, right? You wanna enjoy
Oh,
yourself.
yeah.
So, but I
No,
definitely
I
miss my
agree.
baby so much.
Aw, yeah, I would feel the same. I would feel guilty, especially when they're younger too. They want you there and need you there, so I get that too. but hopefully we have Napa or something in our future. At least, like, 3 nights would be great. We'd love that.
Absolutely. By the way, do you have any upcoming vacations where you plan on, doing that, getting away and not bringing the kids? I know your husband Greg mentioned to me potentially going to the World Cup. And so I wasn't sure if you guys had, you know, put anything on the calendar yet.
We do want to. I don't know if you've seen tickets are like $1,000,000, so I don't know if that's
Fair,
gonna
fair.
happen. But we have the time off if anything
Yeah.
changes, so we're keeping an eye on that. My husband Greg is a huge soccer fan, as you know,
Yes.
but we would love to do that. That's definitely an ultimate bucket list, and we'd probably go out there for a few nights, but it just depends on tickets if we can get a hold of any that are reasonable and not selling a liver for, so
Yeah,
but if
don't give
not,
away
we
your organs for this.
yeah, it's not worth it. It's okay, I'll just watch at home. But it would be a fun trip, but if not, we talked about possibly doing, like, a Napa thing at the end of the year for our 8th anniversary in
So
December. Never
fun.
been, so I think that'd be a nice couples trip. What about you?
Oh my goodness. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're actually going to do, I don't know if you would consider it a staycation because we live in Florida, but we are planning to go to West Palm Beach in August.
Oh,
And I've
nice.
never been. I'm so excited. And
I actually
we're
haven't either.
okay. I'll tell you how it goes. But we are going to see Jack Johnson, which I'm really excited
Oh,
about. So
I'm so jealous.
I know, I know.
I
And
love
then,
Jack Johnson.
me too. He's great. So we're super excited. We're pumped. So I'll keep you posted.
That's a perfect trip. That's a nice getaway too, a couple hours.
Yeah.
Easy, easy.
That's another good point, just being able to get away and know that, God forbid, something were to happen, you can just get in the car and be back home within a few hours. That's definitely like a big relief, at least for me.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I'd be stressed if I was in Europe for a week without
Exactly.
them, if anything were to
That's
happen, I'd
tough.
feel really guilty, so that is,
Mhm.
like, perfect.
Mhm. Agreed. Okay. Well, let's dive into another option, which is bringing the kids with you on vacation, right? I think that's a little bit more realistic for most of us. So let's talk about tips and tricks for after hours, just
Ooh,
to keep
yeah.
that romance alive, right? I think that's super important. So I don't know about you, but I do have a few tricks up my sleeve. My very first one is magnesium. So putting the kiddos down early is super important, especially when we think about going from one time zone to another, it's super important that somehow we're still getting to bed at a decent hour because I don't know about you, but like I mentioned previously, I'd love to have dinner or drinks with my husband after hours. So, magnesium has really helped my family. We normally give Christian one magnesium pill, the first few nights. Normally, we don't have to do it for like a whole week. Normally, it's like the first or second night. And then until he adjusts, we just go ahead and, keep doing that process. So, definitely that seems to be helping our family. I know some people like to, you know, try out other things like melatonin, so that's totally fine, but magnesium works for my family a little bit better.
That's great. I've never actually used magnesium. We used melatonin when we first came back, I think from New Zealand. I just tried it out and I did like a half dose gummy or whatever it was, just for the first like 2 or 3 nights to kinda get back in the routine, and it actually really helped out a lot, but yeah, it knocked them out, so I think magnesium sounds like a lesser, alternative, a little, you know, won't hit them as heavy.
Yeah, for sure. I've actually heard a few things about melatonin and how it's amazing if you are jet lagged. But magnesium is actually the preferred option, especially for children. So definitely recommended. And I actually use this brand called Haya. I don't know if you've heard of it. I believe it's spelled Hiya. And they also have vitamins and we use their vitamins a lot here in my household. So, give it a shot. Obviously you guys can do a little bit more research. Also, I do want to call out, obviously we're not doctors or specialists in this sector, so I would definitely recommend consulting with a doctor, but it's a really
Yep.
great alternative for our family.
We should definitely get a pediatrician on here.
For
I think
sure.
that'd be very helpful. Ask some of
Yeah,
these questions. Just
absolutely.
we are not doctors.
We are not doctors.
I have a master's in anesthesia. I'm not a doctor,
I
just
was
to
gonna
clarify.
say, you're a little bit closer to that field than I am. I'm in marketing, so
I Yeah, I can get back to you on that.
All right, keep us posted.
Don't sue us.
Yeah, please don't.
And
But
and
then
try this at home. I would like to add that. Try this at home before you do
yeah,
it on
I
a
I
trip,
agree.
right?
Yeah,
You don't
absolutely.
know.
Like I don't know if this happens to you guys, but sometimes when my son gets sick, for whatever reason, it's really hard for him to go to sleep, especially like after an illness, the few nights post, having like a
Mhm.
fever or a cold. So
Yeah,
sometimes we'll try magnesium on those nights and they tend to work really well too.
that's great. That's a good suggestion. I know there's a lot of people who actually have an adverse reaction to Benadryl, and this is advice I can give.
Mm.
So, if you're thinking about giving Benadryl, whether it's for jet lag purposes or putting them down early or on the plane, just make sure you've tested it out on your child before and maybe do like a half dose, if you haven't. So, because you don't want that adverse reaction on a flight if you're trying
For
to get
sure.
them to fall asleep and then they go crazy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's horrible. Let's see. What other tips do we have? Do you have any?
Yeah, we love tiring them out. I don't know about you, but
Mm.
a good
Uh-huh.
long hike during the day. We do a lot of adventurous trips, so many of them are focused on hiking or exploring, even if we're in a city. So the more you can get them out walking, exercising, try not to carry them around as much. We do not bring strollers. We did maybe first couple trips when Maya was a baby, but we really don't bring them. We'll carry them. That tires us out too. But yeah, if you can get them to walk if they're at that age, that'll like really do it. What about you?
I totally agree. I feel like that is definitely the way to go when we go on any hikes, or to your point, like even if we're in the city, sometimes my son will say, "Oh, mommy, can I please go up? Please pick me up."
No.
Or the answer is always no. Yes, exactly. I always give him like a little scavenger hunt or something that just keeps him going. By the way, if you haven't tried the scavenger hunt, you must.
I love
Or
that.
yeah, it's just such a good way to just keep them going, you know?
We actually got
So
one. We were in, France at the Christmas markets, and
uh-huh.
we found this little, like I don't even wanna call it a town because there's, like, 10 buildings. It was adorable, in, Requier. It's like the Beauty and the Beast towns, and they had a scavenger hunt, and I was stoked. I thought it was the coolest idea, like, through the town, and I pick it up, and of course, everything's in French. So I was like, "This is a fail."
We have Google Translator, so come on.
We did try, it still didn't really work. It was
No.
like a map too, it did not go great, but I do think that's a great idea in
I
English
literally
or
make it up. I'm just like, "Okay, Christian, find a rock that looks like a dinosaur."
I love that.
He will literally spend hours looking for one. It's great.
You're like, "There's not one, but we'll pretend."
Exactly.
We love Treatos, like, bringing little baby Snickers, any type of candy. We don't usually give candy, but
So you
whatever we
bribe.
can find. Oh, yeah, we bribe. Like, literally, Luna ate this ring pop on a hike for, like, 2 hours, and her whole face was blue. She looked like a Smurf, but she walked so much of it, so that was a win.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I say that my son is the best negotiator out there. So negotiate with your child, you know? Let him
Yeah.
or her know, like, hey, you got to walk an additional mile and then you will get this candy or
I
this
love
toy
it.
and
It's
take it from
genius.
there.
Did you see did you see
Yeah.
that video of the mom on, Instagram or TikTok, and she was placing little gummy bears along the trail?
That is hysterical. But then how many steps does she get in walking back and forth?
I don't know. That you gotta place them pretty far, I guess. But yeah, the mom's going ahead of her, so who knows? It's a lot of gummy bears.
That is pretty genius, though. I
Oh,
love
one
it.
more one more thing, avoid
Please.
late naps.
Oh, yeah,
I think that's a
for
big
sure.
one. It's gonna be hard to get the kid to go to bed early if they're falling asleep in the car at, like, 5 PM.
And
Do you
do
have any
not feel
tips?
guilty about giving them a phone. Yes, that is my tip. Give them your phone. Nothing wrong with that. But I mean, of course, there are so many awesome toys you can entertain them with as well. Um,
Yeah, but whatever works.
oh my gosh. So you want to hear something funny? We
Mhm.
actually it's spring break right now here in Florida. And we just came back from a pool party at my friend's house. And we were just texting each other in this group chat. And we're like, oh, thanks for, letting us come over and whatnot. And one of my girlfriends said, yes, thanks so much. I tired those kids out so much, like, they had so much fun in the pool. I just wanna called out that I had to sing the whole way home. That was the only way of keeping them up, and I was like, "Wow, that's actually really fun. I wanna do karaoke in your car next time."
That is definitely our technique too.
You do that too?
We have, there's 2 songs. Oh, this is actually funny. So, the one song that gets Luna hyped because she's fighting the naps right now, so we're at
Uh-huh.
that phase of, like, me and Maya are just, like, blasting music, singing to her to keep her up in the car, and Titi Me Pregunto, that little Bad
Ugh,
Bunny gets her
of
going,
course.
so we usually blast that and a Lil Wayne song, edited version, of course. It sounds like an alien, and they love it.
My goodness. Your girls are so cool already. I
They
love it.
are, they are
Their taste
cultured.
in music is just amazing.
They already know
Mine
what the word wheezy is, it's not wheezing from
That
asthma.
is hysterical. My son, on the other hand, is obsessed with the Pokemon song right now and the, Steve Lava Chicken song from Minecraft. So those are
Gosh.
the big hits in my household at the moment.
So, that's a whole different world for me. I don't know anything about that.
Difference between girls and boys.
I was actually a Digimon girl, so thanks to my brother Christian,
Oh,
other
there you
Christian.
go. Well, it's so funny. I learned so much about dinosaurs. I feel like from year 2 to year 4, and now I'm learning so much about Pokemons. So it's interesting the stage that I'm in. From
Take me to
nonfiction
trivia.
to fiction, you know? But so many characters to remember.
No, that's great. I mean, the dino one's great anyway. I don't know about Pokemon. I don't know what you're gonna do with that knowledge, but
I don't know either. Useless, useless. All right. On another note, we do
moving
wanna talk
on.
about yes, moving on. We do wanna talk a little bit about dating your spouse or your significant other, even if on vacation with kids. So, as I mentioned previously, I was talking about not feeling guilty if you have to give your phone to your kids. Do not feel bad about that when it comes to going out on dates. So, my husband and I actually went to Hawaii in December and we went to a really fancy restaurant. And honestly, we just wanted to converse. We wanted to talk to each other and not have to worry about our son. But we also obviously didn't want to leave him alone. So, we brought him along and we had such a great time. We did bring some coloring books. That also does the trick, at least for us. And we brought out the phone and guys, it was such a great time. So, not sure if you ever do this, Zoe, but if you do you have any stories to share?
We, we'll try to do the coloring first and just depending on how it goes. But a lot of times, somehow we're still interacting with them, which is great. But, if we need downtime or they're just so silly and tired and jet lagged and we just want to have a drink and relax, like we've done this before, we put on a movie. It's not the end of the world. It just kind of depends on the vibe we're feeling. But I would say, yeah, there's definitely at least like one dinner on vacation that we do that, if not a couple. So, they're on vacation too. They're
For
tired.
sure.
You're nonstop doing things. So I think that's totally acceptable too. Another tip, actually, my husband was telling me this. He heard it on a podcast he listened to. But he and his wife, while they're getting ready, and they do this at home, but I think it's a good tip anywhere. They'll have a drink if you drink while you're getting ready. So they're like, we don't talk at all. We just, while we're
Oh,
getting ready, we have a drink. That's our time to relax. And then we feel so relaxed by the time we get to dinner, you know, that they don't even like care. Like they can just kind of let loose. They don't have to like get up and dinner interrupted and you don't get to have your drink at all. So that's like another tip I thought was kind of interesting. But yeah, we will pull out the phone from time to time. And
nothing wrong with
I
that.
I don't feel bad. We don't do that at home. So I don't feel bad about doing it on vacation if necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with that.
What about afterwards?
Yeah. Do you have any good
Wow,
tips?
chicka wow wow. Yeah, I do. So, so not everyone can afford a suite or a two-bedroom suite in a hotel.
Yeah.
And I think it depends how everyone travels. And when you have babies, okay, you share a room, it's not a big deal. But your kids get a little bit older, it's hard to get that space. So some tips, and depends on obviously where you're traveling to. One obviously would be an Airbnb if you can get
Yes.
extra rooms. That's an
I
obvious one.
highly recommend that option. I have to say one thing that we have actually done is, we did stay in an Airbnb once, and my husband and I got a chance to sneak out of the house, and we did bring our monitor with us.
Oh,
And, even if your child's a little bit older, hold on to those monitors. They will save you. Also, my mother-in-law, I do wanna give this tip. She has one that it's very tiny, and it's not a screen, but it's a sound one. So you're still able to hear. And if you don't wanna bring that, you could always FaceTime. So
yeah.
leave one phone in the child's room and then go into another room, or like I said, go outside and, have some spicy good time with
Yeah,
your spouse.
I love
Um,
that.
I think that's a really good way of just keeping keeping things fun.
I think you can even there's it's a little tricky, you have to, like, probably Google how to do it, but there's a way you can have a sound alert on your Apple Watch if your
Ooh,
phone's nearby, and it'll alert that a baby's crying, and I think that's great when they're, like, little, but obviously, there could be some issues with it picking up the sound, so I think a monitor is probably a safer bet, but if you're not going far, I think that's a good one too. Even if you're just, like, outside just hanging out,
for sure.
having a drink and you can't hear, I think that's a nice tip, or the FaceTime, like you said, is a great idea too.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Hey, I do wanna ask you though, what about board games? Have you guys ever, played around with those? I haven't, but I know those have been targeting me on Instagram. So I
So
wasn't sure if you have tried them out.
I keep yes, I keep trying to buy these, like, couples ones, thinking they're gonna be like, "Get deep, get to know your spouse." Yeah, and they end up just being all these, like one of them was, like, super sexy question like, every single question was just about sex, and I was like, "Okay, like, this is okay, couple of them." You're like, "Alright, I also wanna get to know you too with other things." But it does lead to other things, so that's nice. But, get through, like, 3 cards, and you're like, "Okay." But then I tried to get another board game, and it was all, like, very, open-ended, kinda blunt. I don't know, they were just weird, so I actually don't have any that I would I would suggest, but the sexy ones could be fun if you're into
Yeah,
that. But
yeah,
once I find a game, I'll find the perfect game, and I will get back to you.
yeah, no, sounds good. Yeah,
Building
keep us
intimacy,
posted.
but I have not found, like, a perfect one yet.
Yeah, no worries. We can always do a part 2. Looking forward to
There
that.
you go. So do you have any other tips, suggestions, or think we
Honestly, I
kinda
think we've
nailed
done a
it?
really good job at covering most of them. But guys, let us know if you have any questions, any insights too. We always welcome those. And like I said, it'd be fun to almost do like a part 2 of these and then just, get to hear your stories on the other end. So we look forward to
Absolutely.
that.
Thanks for listening to us.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So today we did talk a little bit about keeping things spicy, especially on vacation, and how to keep the romance and the family balanced. We definitely hope that you took some good tips and tricks, and you can utilize those within after hours. And yeah, hopefully you guys get to enjoy some sexy time while traveling with children. So before we go, Zoe, I believe you have a funny story to share. Do you wanna take it away?
Yeah, absolutely. So, a little intro because next week we'll be talking about my favorite country ever. But I do have a funny story from this trip. So, we went to New Zealand and Maya was 18 months old. And so, we go on this hike. It's supposed to be comparable to the Roy's Peak hike, which is a famous hike in Wanaka. And we've done this 2 times. We loved it. So, it's supposed to be less quiet, still as beautiful of a view. And it's like perfect day out, a little chilly, mild weather. And, we have good attire, we thought anyway. So we start hiking, and it's like a 9-mile round trip. And we're getting very close to the top. I think we're like within a mile. And it's getting a little chillier. And we're like, okay, like, oh, cool. Maybe we'll see like a little bit of snow flurries up top. And it starts hailing.
Oh.
We're just like so unprepared. We have our 18-month-old strapped to the back. Like we had gloves for her, but that's it. And
Oh,
we
no.
ended up we're like, what do we do? And it was just one of those moments where you're like, if it was just you 2, you would just said like, "Fuck it, I don't care. I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
hiking." Obviously, I'm not gonna stop. But we're like, "Okay, we have our baby here with us." Like, I'm pregnant at the time. Like, I guess we'll just abort. And there's so many hikes we've had to abort because of something like this, which just happens. But we didn't expect it. So we turned around. We didn't get to finish and get to the peak, but, needless to say, it's one of the many funny stories that just happen, and even sometimes you think you could be as prepared as you can be with kids, and, it still doesn't work
Yeah,
out, but w
it
made for
happens.
a funny story. Yeah, it does. Got some funny videos and got hailed on, and then the bottom was beautiful in, like, 50s.
Okay, can I just say something though? I love this story because it is a story, right? Like, think about
Yeah.
if it would have gone perfectly, would you even tell this story? Like, sure, you would have gotten really great photos and videos, but I don't think it'd be such a memorable experience. So just keep that in mind. Things will go
I
wrong. Nothing wrong with it.
I agree, and I think that's some of our best memories from travel are stories that just go so wrong, even before kids,
Right.
so
Yeah.
hopefully we get to share all of our moments with you, good and bad, but, thanks for tuning in, guys. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us on social media. Be sure to subscribe to our channel if you love our content. We really wanna keep this podcast going and alive, or don't listen to us, and we'll just keep talking 'cause I enjoy my best friend, so it's fine. But
Exactly. That's fine. I love it too. So it's good bonding best friend time.
absolutely. We'll post some links in the show notes, the magnesium that Desiree talked about, and anything else we talked about. And be sure to check out my travel blog, anesthesiaforadventure.com. Have a bunch of itineraries, trip inspirations on there as well. And we'll post our show links and social media below.
Woohoo. All right. So for next week's episode, explore the South Island of New Zealand with us as Zoe dives into road tripping, her favorite country. Cannot wait to talk about it.
I'm
Thanks, guys.
stoked.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right. Bye.
Bye.